Well, good day to you, you sexy Mother Hubbards. Just a wee walk and talk with yours truly, if you'll indulge me. I haven't got time to edit. I've been in A&E last night with the little one, and actually that's going to sort of fuel my discussion with you now. Don't worry, she's fine, by the way. But whilst I was in the hospital, I saw looking around. In fact, even on entry to the hospital, there was a very stressed-looking nurse out in A&E reception, basically shouting at people, saying, if you're not here as a designated carer, meaning looking after somebody with Alzheimer's or a parent, if that's not you, you need to go home. You all need to just get out of here, basically, telling people to clear off because there's not enough room. And this brought a sort of question back to the fore of my mind. I was like looking around, we were in the children's emergency department thing, the kids A&E, right? And it was a 5-hour wait to be seen by a doctor. And obviously you get seen by other people in that time. They do sort of like little observations, they check your pulse, they ask you for a urine sample, all of that jazz. But 5 hours until you see a doctor. And this isn't an exclusive situation to the NHS. I'm not bashing the health service by a long shot. This is a situation that is replicated across many public services, right? You go into the town hall, you got to sit there and wait, an hour before you can be seen by somebody. You go to your kid's school, most of the classrooms are like at or over capacity. You try and get a GP appointment and there's like 27 people before you, you are caller number 26. And I suppose the question that I'm trying to get to, or the observation as it were, is how have things got to this point where we just sort of begrudgingly accept that the money that comes in to the public utility, whatever that may be, is always insufficient for the actual service that they provide. So case in point, when I phoned the GP about my daughter the other day, it was like 27 people in front of me on the phone queue. And the first thought that jumped in my mind was like, why wouldn't that call centre, why wouldn't they talk to their manager and say, look, we're overrun? Like quite often people are just sat there waiting for an hour on hold music, just trying to get an appointment. And even then when they do get in, when do you think that actual appointment, like they've got to wait days or weeks before they can actually see the GP? So obviously it's a staffing issue, right? So why isn't that sort of passed up the chain? Oh, this local surgery, they need more staff, so we need more funding there, right? And then I start sort of like wargaming it in my head. And you go like, okay, well, at some point, they must have established how many doctors and nurses were needed in that doctor's surgery, correct? At some point, that conversation would have taken place where they go, look, there's 70,000 people in this town. Let's say 300 of them get sick every week. That's going to, you could do the maths. You'd be like, right, okay, well, that means we need X number of doctors and Y number of nurses. And perhaps more importantly, 50 call centre staff to field their calls, to get them through the system quickly, booked in and churned out. And then my mind starts going like a level deeper. It's like, well, okay, maybe it used to be 70,000 population, maybe now it's 90,000, maybe 110. And as the population grows, quite unsurprisingly, your ability to get an appointment with those doctors then decreases or shrinks or is challenged. But then then I go a level deeper. I'm like, but if the population increases, that's like another 20,000 people who are earning money, and that money is being taxed. So that's an extra, 30 grand or 100 grand or 200 grand. I'm not clever enough to do the maths in the space of time that this video is going to take. But I guess my point is that as the population grows and as you have more working people all earning money and that money is taxed and that tax money goes into the coffers, you should be able to expand the public services in line with the population. So anyway, just to sort of spool back to my original example, there I am sitting in the children's A&E last night, looking at how overrun these doctors, these like sister nurses, the one practitioner that was on. I'm looking at the 5-hour wait. And I'm like, how have we allowed that conversation to be dominated by talk of cost cutting and right sizing and slashing NHS budgets? Like at what point didn't somebody just push back and say, no, you need 7 doctors for this number of population, right? Like at some point that conversation took place and I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for it. Like I always used to say, and I don't know how accurate this is, but it made sense to me. I always used to say that if the population grows and then you have the right, proportion more tax money going into the coffers, well then if there's still not enough to fund an expansion in the public services, whatever they may be, schools, health service or whatever, that tells you that someone somewhere is avoiding tax. But yeah, anyway, these are my thoughts. What do you guys think?